Just tell us, when you thought about coming out of retirement and sort of what spurred your decision and how your body feels at this point.
I got many questions throughout the whole time I was retired from however long ago that was. That was about a year ago, a year and a month ago. I was getting questions all the time. I was getting opportunities throughout the whole retirement to come back, which is special, and I'm definitely blessed to have those opportunities big time. But I've always said, for sure, I've said it from the beginning that I wouldn't come back unless if I'm feeling it, unless if I'm feeling good, feeling healthy, and I'm feeling like I'm ready to go. And now this is the case. This is the time. It definitely wasn't last year. My body 100% needed a rest. I played football for 15 years straight, college, high school, NFL, and I was taking hits, surgeries, everything. My body 100% needed a rest. I didn't have that fire underneath me, but I knew I loved the game of football. I've always have. That's why I've always played it. That's why I've had a 9-year career with the New England Patriots. So I was feeling good. I wouldn't say I had no fire last year, even at the end of the season to come back. But, as the time rolled on, the last couple of weeks, I started really picking it up. My body started feeling good. My desire to play the game of football was coming back. And I knew that, by the time the season would be rolling around again, I would want to be back out there. So that desire, that passion has lit into me. And, I just felt like in the last couple of weeks, it was the right time to hop on before it was too late.
All right, next up, we're going to have Greg Allman.
Hey, Rob, thanks for doing this. I want to ask you, we're asking about where you are physically. I just want to ask you, what do you weigh now compared to what you weighed like last Super Bowl, last time you played for the Patriots?
Yes, I played my career at about 262 pounds, 265 pounds. So I would say I was right around there. You vary a little bit week to week and all that stuff, depending on what's going on. But currently I am 250 pounds. I actually woke up this morning and I was in my boxers and I weighed myself. Dead weight this morning was 250 pounds. So a lot of people out there think I've lost 40 pounds, lost 50 pounds. I one time was in the supermarket about 3 months ago and this guy came up to me. He's like, I heard you lost 80 pounds. And I was like, dude, if I lost 80 pounds, like I'd be looking totally different than what I look right now. And I was only down 15, 20 pounds, but it's incredible, man. I'm 250. I feel good. My body feels good. And I definitely worked over the last year too. It's not like I've taken off and done nothing. I mean, my body at some points, there was a good month or two where I didn't do anything actually. My body just needed that time to rest, needed that time to heal. And I would say that I lost some weight too, to take some pressure off my joints, to take some pressure off my body. And I feel like it was totally the right decision. And to put on 10 pounds, I'm 250, to put on 10 pounds to get to 260, I think will be pretty easy if I need to get back up there, which I feel like I kind of want to be back up in the 260 range, 265 range. I mean, it just takes a couple extra protein shakes with some extra almond butter, some extra blueberries. You just got to load it up and have a couple shakes a day on top of all your meals to put that weight back on.
All right, next up we have Mike Giardi from NFL Network.
Rob, can you hear me?
Yes. What's up, man?
Not much. Good to have you back in the league.
Thank you.
This is a bit of a pointed question coming from the New England side of things, and maybe the angle. It seemed like you, the last couple of years in particular, and even Tom the last few years when he was playing, it's hard to play for Bill, and that maybe that wore on you. And I'm just curious how much that played into stepping away, and now knowing that Tom's going somewhere else, sort of a rebirth and step back with Tom.
Coach says it all the time, man. He always says it, that it's not an easy place to play. And, I'm very thankful for the 9 years that I had with the New England Patriots. Hands down, I've learned so much under that organization. I've learned so much football from the best coach. Hands down, that will not change. The best coach in all of football. Coach Belichick. I've learned more football than I have ever had in my whole entire life under Coach Belichick, and just learning so much under just the organization of Mr. Kraft too. I mean, there's two guys that I look up to and will always look up to. I mean, they're the ones who drafted me and gave me my first opportunities ever in the NFL, and I'm very thankful for those opportunities. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's an easy organization to play for. And I've also never played for another organization. I haven't even been down to Tampa yet, so I'm not even sure what to expect. But I know that, that the New England Patriots, hands down, I mean, it is not the easiest place to play, but it gets you right. It gets you mentally right. It gets you physically right. And what I've learned there is I'm definitely going to take it with me with my future, and whatever I have present to this day. I'm definitely going to take what I've learned in the New England Patriots organization under the Coach Belichick, Mr. Kraft, and everyone there, and apply it to my daily life, big time.
And next up, we have Jenna Lane, who will be followed by Mike Reese.
Hi, Rob. Welcome to Tampa.
Thank you.
Who approached who in this situation? Did you approach Tom? Did Tom approach you? And if so, what was that conversation like?
We had a little conversation. There was no pressure on either side. We actually got together a couple weeks ago. I would say actually probably like 2 months ago, just to throw the ball. I haven't thrown the football or even touched the football since last year when we threw in LA. Out at UCLA, when that was news everywhere that we were throwing together, because I always knew in the back of my mind too that I love the game of football, and if it ever sparked me again, I did want to be ready. It's not like I wanted to not be ready. So throwing the football around, working out still was definitely crucial. So we actually got together about 2 months ago, and we rarely talked about what his decision was going to be, where I'm at, but we did talk about for 1 second. I told him that. We talked just real quick, like, hey, like, it's kind of getting that fire underneath me again. I told him, and I said, I'm definitely interested in your decision that you make. I mean, I didn't put any pressure on him. I said, but if there's a right opportunity out there, and you go somewhere and the opportunity is right, even if you go back to the Patriots and I feel like the opportunity is right, there's a possible chance that I will definitely love to reconnect. And that's where the conversation started a little bit. And he was all fired up and juiced up about it. So that was something pretty cool at the moment. And in the end, it happened over time, which is pretty neat.
All right. Next up, we have Mike Reese, who will be followed by Ed Encina.
Great. Hey, Rob, how are you?
What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Hey, great to see you. Welcome back to the league. And
yes,
just to sort of build on that last answer, Rob, if Tom did come back to the Patriots, do you think that this would be sort of the result, you coming back to the league?
I would have definitely looked at the opportunity for sure, hands down. At that moment when he was going through that process, I remember the free agent process. I was interested to see where he was going to go. I mean, that's his decision to make. I'm not a guy that's going to sit there and try to put pressure on him. But at that moment, moment in time, I was still up in the air too. Like, I really didn't know if I was going to go or not. I really wasn't sure if I wanted to play. I had a little fire underneath me, but it would have definitely been an opportunity I would have looked at for sure. Because playing with Tom is special. I mean, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And to build a connection with a quarterback, too, is something special. I mean, you've seen it many times with many other players. They can switch teams, and they might not have the same chemistry as they'd have with one of their other quarterbacks. So we have a great chemistry out there, and every time we get together, it's just like, the old days. It doesn't matter if we take a month off or 6 months apart. We just go out there and we're throwing the ball just like it's a normal practice. No matter what. So it just happened to be the right opportunity, I feel like, down in Tampa. Yes, Tom is definitely he was like the appetizer of the whole meal. He got me hooked when he went down to Tampa. I saw what was down there, just the opportunity to go down there and play with that type of offense. I mean, they got some special wide receivers out there. They got other great tight ends. And let me tell you, I love working with tight ends too. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, working with OJ and Cam. So that's definitely going to be a special opportunity. But just blessed to be in this situation and have this opportunity. Big time, Mike.
All right, next up we have Ed Encina, followed by Dan Lucas.
Hi, Rob. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm just wondering about just your knowledge of Tampa. I know you had a house here. You had some other ventures here. What you know about the area, and how excited you are for joining this team specifically. You kind of touched on some of the weapons that there are there. How close do you guys think you are with the two of you guys? Because you add you two, and everyone's kind of talking about how good you can be. How good can you be?
Well, yeah, with the Tampa area, I did have a house there back in the day. To tell you the truth, I just like Florida a lot, and that's what was really appealing to me too. That's why I bought a house there in Tampa. Actually, it was a while back ago though, and just couldn't get down there too much, so sold the house. So I kind of know Tampa area a little bit, nothing too crazy. Don't know the ins and outs like that. But I just love Florida, love the weather down there, love the opportunities it brings. I'm a t-shirt shorts guy rolling out of bed with the sandals. So that's going to make it easy down there in Tampa Bay. But just speaking about the offense overall, that's one thing I looked into too. Once Tom went down there, I have also looked into their offense and just saw how special those wide receivers are. Chris Goodwin, Mike Evans, you got Cameron Bratt, and then OJ Howard at the tight end position too. And I just saw that opportunity. I love playing with other players. I love playing with other players that have a lot of talent, and just watching the highlights of Mike Evans and the Tampa Bay offense, it got me excited. It got me pumped up that I could be a part of that.
All right, next up we have Dan Lucas, followed by Scott Smith.
Hi, Rob. What are your new teammates in for with Tom Brady? At a practice, in a meeting, on the sidelines, what do you know about him that some of these guys maybe have never seen in their careers?
If we're talking about Brady, I haven't been down to the Tampa. I haven't really met. I don't even think I've ever met any of the players on the active roster. I might have real quick, a couple of them on the defensive side, but other than that, I don't know any of the other players personally or anything. I don't know how the organization is ran over there, but I'm excited to get a part of it and just go down there and do my job and bring what I bring to the table at the tight end position and help out the team. But, when you go out there with Tom too, I would say it's kind of the same thing. He just brings that fire to the table. There's no time when you're going to be out at practice where it's not going to be full go, where it's not going to be the intensity level is not going to be high. You're always going to be learning with Tom. He brings that passion to the game of football, and that's what's special about him, is that these players on the Tampa Bay roster are going to feel that passion for the game of football.
All right, next up we have Scott Smith, who will be followed by Luke Easterling.
Thanks, Rob. So because so much of life as a Patriot is kind of an insulated one by design, 100% football all the time, you come down to Florida, obviously you got the sun, the ocean, all the other possible distractions that about. See those as things that you kind of have to take into account because that wasn't a part of life in Foxborough?
No, to tell you the truth, I don't think that will be a distraction at all. If anything, you can use that into your advantage to enjoy the sunshine a lot more. But like I said, we've learned many things. I've learned many things here with the Patriots organization, and that's one thing, is to block out the noise. And that's one thing I'm gonna bring with me to wherever I go, is block out the noise. There's no reason to listen to all the hype. Listen to everything that's going on, go out there, go down there and fall into all the distractions. No, that's not the case. You got to stay focused. You got to stay with the program, and you got to stay mentally sharp and physically ready at all times, and not let the distraction get to you. You got to just block them out.
All right, next up we have Luke Easterling from Sports Illustrated, followed by Steve Isbitz.
Hey, Rob, welcome to Tampa. Welcome back to the league. You mentioned the fact that you did go a long time between really doing any football work, at all. The current landscape of the world and what you're not allowed to go out and do in terms of working out and such. Do you feel like that's going to be a big challenge for you in getting ready for this season? And how are you kind of planning to attack that?
Yes, it's definitely going to be a challenge to get ready for the season. No doubt. It's a challenge every single year. It's going to probably be a bigger challenge, taking a year off and coming back. But I've been staying active. I've been staying busy. Not necessarily, I'm not going to lie, not necessarily with football stuff, but I've been keeping up my cardio. I've been keeping up staying in shape. I've been keeping up, not full-time type football lifts and all that, but I've been doing that stuff periodically there and there. And it's just going to change now. That the mindset's going to have to change now that I'm going to be playing again. And that's time to start preparing. And that's also another reason why I wanted to come out of retirement now, instead of wait until and think about the decision later on when the season started. I wanted to make sure, I can get accommodated with the Tampa Bay area, when we're allowed to go down there and get accommodated with my teammates and everything, if we even have an off season. But, things are going to have to change a little bit now. I got to start getting football ready, get in the football shape, and get ready to go to play some games.
All right, next up is Steve Isbitz.
Rob, your initial impressions of Bruce Arians on the little bit you've gotten to talk to him so far, and especially maybe compare him to Bill Belichick and your quick impressions of those guys against each other.
I just know that from many other players that have played for Coach Bruce Arians, they all told me that I'm going to love playing for him. And that's great to hear. And I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to meeting him in person. I've actually only talked to him for about a quick minute, just got to meet and greet each other real quick over the phone. And I'm just super excited to meet him and super excited to play for him and the Tampa Bay organization and see what it's all about, I really can't compare them. Coach Belichick and Coach Arians, I never, got to play under Coach Arians yet, but I've heard he's a football master also. And I love football. I love being around football masters when I'm in the building playing football. I love to learn from football masters. And Coach Belichick was definitely a football master, and it was an honor to learn from him a lot of the game of football. So it's just going to be cool now to go to Coach Arians and also learn from another coach that has, a lot of background in the game of football.
All right, next up we have Grace Remington.
Hey Gronk, welcome to Tampa. Arian's not really known for using tight ends in the vertical passing game, but obviously that's your and Brady's thing. So I'm just curious to know, what is your understanding of the influence you guys will have on Arian's playbook and your understanding of your role here?
I'm going to be honest, we really haven't gotten that far yet. I mean, the first part was just getting traded down to Tampa, and now that mission has been accomplished. And, I haven't dove into the playbook. I haven't dived or dove into the playbook yet. And I'm very excited to. I'm letting things settle down a little bit. Off-season program starts next week on the virtual computer stuff. So I'm pretty sure that's when everything's going to start getting rolling. And so we can't really, exhibit how I'm going to be used, how the offense is, because I really don't know much yet. So that's a tough question to answer right now. But, I'm sure when I get there, I want to show my talents for sure. I want to show what I can do. I want to show that I can go up the seam. I want to show that I can run an out route, in cut. I want to show that I can do what I've been doing my whole career, especially how I was when I was in the prime of going out there and making big things happen. So that's all I'm excited about, and that's all I can control. And I'm sure that if I'm running up the seam and I'm running pretty fast up the seam, that he's going to add some plays, some seam plays.
All right, next up we have Rick Stroud. We have time for a couple more.
Hey, Rob, what's the difference between Rob Gronkowski and Gronk, right? That sort of alter ego that comes out on the field on Sundays and who you are, off the field.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty good question. I would say that the Rob Gronkowski part is, family part, my friends, all that, because my Gronk name actually started on the football field here in New England. So that is totally different from my actual, Rob Gronkowski name. And I like that, the alter ego, I can get to use whenever I want to get away with the alter ego. I can use, I was just being Gronk, when I'm with my friends and family and stuff. But Gronk definitely means something to me. And it definitely started here in New England, out here with the Patriots, I would say within my rookie year, because I was actually never called Gronk until my rookie year here. I never had that nickname. And I like that nickname. I take it to heart. And when I hear the word Gronk, it definitely relates more to me. It relates more to the football world. It relates to the football fans. It relates to the football family of the world. I feel like that's where Gronk belongs. And when Gronk hits the field, I just feel like, there's power, intensity, giving all he has, and big hits, big plays, and all that good stuff.
Okay, we have time for two more. We're going to have Jenna Lane, followed by Greg Allman.
Rob, you've talked about being in an immense amount of pain playing. Have you developed any new coping strategies for how you're going to deal with that, in this comeback of yours?
Oh, yes. There was hands down that I was in, very painful situations. And even my very last game, I couldn't walk for four weeks. I couldn't walk that well after the last Super Bowl game we won from my quad contusion. And I actually still have a little indent from it too, but I'm going to get rid of it. That's my goal. That's one of my last final things I got to get fixed on my body. And it's that quad contusion I took from the Super Bowl over a year ago. And there's still a little dent in my quad from it, but it's all for the love of the game. And I was in some pain at some serious times, even while playing the game, even in games. But that's what I did the last year. I took care of myself. I let my body heal. I let my body rest. I let my body get the treatments that it needed. I feel like I broke up all the scar tissue that was in my body, got rid of the inflammation in my body that was holding me back my last year, I felt like. And it feels good. And definitely going forward, I definitely feel like, this is an opportunity to play the game of football and play a whole season the real way that it's supposed to be played. When you're a young buck, you just go out there, you just do what you got to do. You don't really know how to take care of your body. You don't really know what to do because you just have it. You're a young buck. But now being 30 years old, it's going to be a whole different mindset. It's going to be a transition that I've never done before. And it's going to be, the whole focus is going to be taking care of my body and doing the best that I can on the football field and not worry and not be distracted by anything else. So I'm excited for that opportunity, and I'm excited to see, how I hold up and how I can play throughout a whole season, taking care of myself.
All right, our last one's going to come from Greg Allman.
Rob, along those lines, just from a usage standpoint, I know you feel good about where you are. You've got 3 months before training camp even comes. Do you have any sense in terms of how you want to be used? Do you want to be the same guy you were 2 years ago in New England in terms of playing 50, 60 snaps every game? Or is there an eye towards maybe playing less with preservation in mind?
There hasn't been much talks actually about that. I'm not sure if the coaches have plans. I mean, they may have plans because they were very excited to bring me in. So they probably talked internally. I'm not really sure about how they really want to use me, but I am down to do anything. I'm going back into the game. I'm feeling good. And like Rick asked me what the name Gronk means. The name Gronk means that I'm down for anything on the football field. If they need me to block, I'm down to block. If they need me to spread out wide, I'll spread out wide. If they, if it's best for the team to be out there for 60% of the plays, I'm totally down to be out there for 60% of the plays. So whatever's best for the team, whatever helps out the team, I'm going to give it my all, no matter how many plays. If it's 60% or 100% of the plays, I'm down for whatever. And I don't mind taking a break either. I played 100% of the plays. We got great talent around us. We got 2 other great tight ends down there too, and that I'm super excited to be involved with and super excited to play with them. So we'll see what happens. There's nothing set in stone at all yet.
All right, that's all for today. Thanks, Rob.
All right, guys. Thank you.